Matt Hardy himself took that video and posted it on his Instagram page, tagging us. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Ramblin' Bout Wrestling podcast. I'm your host, Nick Pearl, and I know I start a lot of the podcast episodes like this, but the last week has been insane in wrestling, at least for me. I attended the House of Glory Salvation show in Jamaica, Queens. This was my third House of Glory show, and by far, it was the best experience I've ever had at any of them. Yes, there were some great matches, but I'm talking about the moments that I had. Oh my God. Whew. Let's just get into it. To start off the night, we got there early because we're sitting on the stage. I wanted to get a good seat so I can get some good content for the channel. And yes, if you've looked at the Instagram, the YouTube, the Twitter, I had a very, very nice highlight reel that I posted of Zilla Fatu going up against ENZO AMORE, who is now known as Real One. This I would call the match of the night. Right behind it is Nic Nemeth versus El Hijo Del Vikingo in a first-time ever dream match. You may think, oh, you're attending an AEW show, attending WWE, TNA, you're going to get these guys. These guys have never wrestled before. They are big-time names wrestling in front of a crowd that's maybe 1,000. It didn't sound like it was 1,000 people. It sounded like there was a lot more. But let me tell you, starting off the night, I met both Nic Nemeth and El Hijo Del Vikingo. Vikingo was a last-minute thing. I was on the line. He wasn't supposed to be doing meet and greet. I saw him. I said, you know what? What the hell? Just seeing them both in person. Vikingo's great. He's going to be a future top player in a major wrestling company. I'm waiting for him to get that AEW contract. It's happening. But Nic Nemeth, seeing Dolph Ziggler in person, shaking his hand. Never thought that would happen. I also high-fived him on the way to the ring and to the back. So if you go to an HOG show, sit on the stage. It's great. Cheap seats too. You'd think they'd be more, no. But if you look at the House of Glory social media, they announced that the Hardy Boys are going to be at the next show, December 20th. I went nuts. I posted me and Velarde screaming, going crazy on the Instagram page. And this is where the night gets even crazier. Matt Hardy himself took that video and posted it on his Instagram page, tagging us. What's going on? We're not even a year in with the podcast, and we're getting noticed by Matt Hardy, Nic Nemeth, El Hijo Del Vikingo, ENZO AMORE, who just posted my highlight reel of the match between him and Zilla on his Instagram. I'm just in shock. I understand we don't have a ton of Instagram followers, but we're moving up in the world. Thank you guys so much for helping me get noticed. This is what I want to do. I want to be involved in wrestling. So let's make it happen. Please contact me. I'm interested. Anyway, back to the HOG show. You're going to go to these shows, and honestly, you're not going to know who half of the guys are. There were a bunch of up-and-coming wrestlers on this card. Some of them had just started training in the last few years. There was one of these guys. I want to give him a shout-out. His name is Billy M. Kidd. Not sure. I don't really remember what his full wrestling name is. I'm not sure if that's his persona or not. That's his Instagram handle. He handed out a bunch of little like papers promoting himself. He's a wrestler in LPW, which is Legacy Pro Wrestling, emerging pro wrestlers of the New York lineage. And he worked the HOG show from the first time that I went. But the guy's got a great personality. He's in it to win it. And just the way he's just walking around, casually talking to people. Oh yeah, I wrestle, I'm a wrestler. I wrestled on this card. He's introducing himself because a bunch of the guys going, we're not going to see Billy M. Kidd. We're going to see Vikingo versus Nic Nemeth. But the fact that you could have these established names and then this up-and-coming guy on the same card, it benefits everybody. Veterans wanting to work with the younger talent, and the younger talent getting the exposure working with these veteran talent, and also learning from them. Very cool guy. I spoke to him maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute we talked. But he's got a great look. I would love to see him get more exposure on these HOG shows, and can't wait to see him more in the future. Looking at this card, you have the CBK, the Cold Cold-Blooded Killers. They are the HOG Tag Team Champions. They are going to be something special. They have the personality. They got that down. They're just in the phase of getting those reps in until they have the opportunity to move on up to another company. Really cool to see the future right in front of my eyes, especially with these guys. Jay Armani, Nolo Kitano, Raheem Royale, or Royal, sorry if I botched your name. I know Charles Mason was a part of the group at one point. I don't know if he still is. I haven't seen him at the shows. I think he is. One of them comes out, has his pants down, showing off his underwear that's got Trump flipping the bird. I think it's hysterical. Crowd chants, pull your pants up. He pulls them up, pulls them right back down. He knows how to work the crowd. He's getting it. I love this character. I would love to see these guys get more exposure down the line. You also had Sweet Cheeks. Love this guy. So freaking funny. Comes out, handing out candy to everybody. Why didn't you give me a lollipop, bro? I was right next to you. I want a lollipop. Sweet Cheeks, if you watch this, please give me a lollipop next time. I'll be on stage. I'll have my hand out. I want that Sweet Cheeks lollipop. Sweet Cheeks is like a No Way Jose, where you put him out first, crowd gets excited, and then you move on with the show. But the Cold-Blooded Killers, these guys can be the future of any tag team division. La Sombra versus Idris Jackson. The match never started. They just had a full-on brawl. It was probably the most entertaining brawl that I've ever seen. The referees, they just kept coming out, getting taken out, taking these bumps. You send out the commissioner. He's in shock. He doesn't know what's going on. I shook his hand, by the way, at the last show, not this one. These two guys have been feuding since the HOG show that I attended in July when I met Prince Nana. They've been building this feud for months. The big blow-off is going to be a steel cage match. Both of these guys got a lot of potential, but they split the show up in two. So you had two main events. The first one happens right here, Nic Nemeth versus El Hijo Del Vikingo. There will be a highlight reel coming out of this match. I just haven't had a chance to sit and do that one yet. They had a great first time ever match. Could be first and only time. They took some nasty bumps on the ramp. They actually broke the ramp, so they had to fix it during intermission real quick. Nemeth ended up getting the win. Vikingo was able to do his lucha. Then you go to intermission, where the Hardy Boys are going to be at the next show, December 20th. I am the promotion for this show. I'm all over. Last time I checked, it was at 69,000 views, I think. My brothers, Merry Christmas. I bought you tickets. I'm not paying for your meet and greet, and I'm not paying for your train ticket. Coming back from intermission, you had Real One, ENZO Amore, make a surprise appearance at the show, go into the ring. It wasn't really a surprise for me, though, because while we're waiting on the line to get in, we see this car come down the road, stop looking for parking, and then people start honking. I said, what, who's honking? I look in the car, and there's ENZO in the front seat. I said, is that ENZO? I said, is ENZO going to be at this show? They didn't announce him. That's how I knew ENZO was going to be there. But ENZO versus Zilla Fatu, he is a part of the Bloodline, the youngest member that I know of the Bloodline right now. He has his first ever championship in the Crown Jewel Championship. Not the one that Cody Rhodes and Gunther will be going for, but this is the HOG Crown Jewel Championship, a title that actually means something. And I'm telling you right now, when WWE comes knocking, this guy will drop that belt real quick. You see the similarities between Solo Sikoa. When he does his splash, just look at the face. You see Solo in him. He moves like Roman. He's got all of them combined into one character. Much like Jacob Fatu was one of my favorite guys they have right now. If you get Zilla Fatu, he's gonna be a big time player. He will be a main event guy in a company. So seeing the beginning of his career, that's just what I love about these HOG shows. Just the fact that I could potentially point at my TV one day and say, I saw him wrestle live. Incredible. And then your world championship, Mike Santana versus Masato Tanaka. I'm going to be honest, didn't see any Tanaka matches before this. I could tell this guy is a legend. He walks out, means business. Santana, his stock has gone through the roof since leaving AEW. Like, he was a tag team guy for so long. Now that he's finally got that singles run that he's been looking for, he's proved all of his doubters wrong. Where does this guy go from here? The face at TNA? Very possible. Would love to see him in WWE. Make him the NXT champion. He is New York's chosen one right now. From being a guy that, Mike Santana's here, to, Mike Santana's here. Career rejuvenation. So that's my experience attending HOG Salvation 2024. I cannot wait to meet the Hardys in December 20th. You all better be there. I never thought that by attending this show, the podcast would get this much exposure. This is what we're looking for here. Let's have a great week of wrestling, and I'll catch you on the next one. Let's keep rambling, everybody.